Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, I've been talking an awful lot so far this year, haven't I, about all the house signs of the market getting off to a great start. Rightmove's house price index was out this week, substantiated a lot of what I've been saying already, so I don't want to go over old ground, but there were two points they reported which I thought were quite interesting. So mortgage approvals, they have had 9 of their 10 busiest days on record so far. 9 of those 10 busiest days have fallen in January. They've got a mortgage calculator facility on their site. So a real surge of people going on to see what can they afford, and that's a great kind of like symptom of the housing market, a key indicator that people are working out what they can afford and planning for a move. So that was really interesting. And also asking prices of properties going to market. So from December to January, the asking prices of properties going to market was stood at 1.7% increase. That is the highest increase from a December to January period since 2020. And when you think we've been through the boom of the pandemic, 2021 and 2022, that's incredible, really. So great sign that sellers equally are feeling more confidence. They're reading all those less negative media reports. You'd normally see a bit of an increase from December to January, but that's obviously quite a big increase. So that's enough on the market for now. Let's talk about something else. How about the new proposed development to the west of Edinburgh? So there's this big 200-acre site. It's formed part of the local council's plan. They've got a huge housing crisis in Edinburgh, a real lack of homes. So this £2 billion investment to bring 7,000 homes is looking like it's going to go ahead. It's a 205-acre site located between Ingliston Park and Ryde and the Goga roundabout on the western gateway of Edinburgh, if anyone knows much about that. And they follow the guidelines set out by the CEC's City Plan 2030, which says that the area has significant potential to become a vibrant, high-density city extension with capacity for 7,000 homes in what is a 20-minute neighbourhood. The proposed facilities, where they include a school, medical provision, civic and community space, bars, restaurants, cafes, retail and other commercial space. There are plans for 27 acres of accessible green space, including a large 5.5-acre central park, pocket parks and a wildlife corridor crisscrossed by a network of cycle, running and walking tracks. And the Edinburgh tram runs right through the centre of it. So they're going to put a new stop in to pick everybody up. I mean, they've got easy access to the city. A 20-minute neighbourhood, what is that? Well, it's a concept that was first seen in Melbourne in Australia, and it's basically this concept that within 20 minutes you could get access to all the main amenities that you need in your life: a doctor, a school, dentist, all those kind of key services and amenities that people want. So 20 minutes either by foot, wheelchair or bike. Again, that's what concept of a 20-minute neighbourhood is. Sounds like a great idea. I think it sounds like a nice place. We've got somewhere obviously similar, Kings Hill here. That would be deemed to be a similar thing, although that's got more road network. This one's going to have much more of those paths and cycle networks running through them as well as roads. So yeah, interesting. Talking of new builds, of course, I built my house last year, and I just thought you might like to know how it's doing in this cold snap. It's really cold at the moment, isn't it? And I am the coldest person I know. I'm always cold, always. You're seeing me in a lot of brown at the moment. That's because I have a lot of brown jumpers. So other colours will be seen again soon. But my house was built in an ICF construction, so that's insulated concrete formwork, which is basically where you have these big sort of polystyrene blocks. They have a 100 mil outside layer to them, which is this polystyrene. And then you stack them up and pour it full of concrete. And so you've got this double wall of insulation and then all this concrete as well. And also on my floors, I've actually got poured solid concrete floors on all levels, basement, ground and first floor, so no drafts coming through. And I've also got a warm roof, so really great insulation there. Double glazing, obviously, as you'd expect. So how is my energy efficient house doing? Very well, actually. It's quite a biggish house. Yeah, it's quite a good size. It doesn't feel really big because it's kind of more designed in line with family living, I guess. So you kind of a sense you use every room. But our gas bill for last month, and yes, I did go gas, air source heat pump, I simply couldn't afford to get there actually, and it's very noisy. And I'd have loved to have done ground source heat pump. That would have been my absolute dream, but that's even more money. I didn't have enough land to do it. I couldn't go down because of bedrock. So I'm not 100% sure about air source. And it was still very expensive when I was looking at it. So I went with gas. And one of the reasons why I stuck with gas, we're hydrogen ready on our boiler, which will be much more energy efficient. But the house should use very little gas to run. And that's, yeah, definitely what we're seeing. Our gas bills are tiny. And the house doesn't feel really toasty, but I think that's more because I've got to have another chat with my plumbers to get the flow rates going. Some of the rooms are really, really warm. It's not cold. I mean, I'm not cold there. And most people would walk in and go, your house is sweltering. So, but it's not in my definition sitting at like 25 degrees. But yeah, it's doing really, really well. It's lovely not to have any drafts, permanent heat, 'cause it's obviously all underfloor heated. And yeah, I am loving living in a new build, I have to say. Great. I just thought you'd like to know that. Well, there's obviously lots going on. We've got a lovely new property that we have launched on Meadow Hill Road. It's a really generous property, actually. It's got really masses of space, deceptively so across the floors, and beautifully presented and overlooking the Grove, which is just lovely, on a guide of 1.1. So if that's of interest, give us a call. Stay warm. I hope you have a good rest of your week. We're nearly pushing through January. February and spring are coming, and I look forward to speaking to you more over the weeks and months ahead. Bye-bye.